So here's what went down. On Wednesday, Trump hopped on Truth Social, and he claims he's been talking to Coca-Cola executives, and they've agreed to ditch the corn syrup and bring back real cane sugar to American Coke. His exact words? It's just better. And honestly, millions of soda fans who've been smuggling Mexican Coke across the border for years would probably agree with him. But here's where things get interesting. When reporters reached out to Coca-Cola for confirmation, the company basically gave the corporate equivalent of a shrug. They said they appreciate President Trump's enthusiasm and promised to share details about new product soon. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement of Trump's announcement, is it? Now, if you're wondering why this is such a big deal, let me take you back to the 1980s. That's when Coca-Cola made one of the most controversial decisions in beverage history. They switched from cane sugar to high fructose corn syrup. Why? Money, plain and simple. The U.S. government was subsidizing corn farmers like crazy, making corn syrup dirt cheap compared to imported sugar. By 1984, American Coke had completely ditched cane sugar. This created something fascinating: two different versions of the same drink. In Mexico and other countries, Coke kept using cane sugar. In America, we got the corn syrup version. And for decades, people have sworn that Mexican Coke tastes better. They say it's cleaner, crisper, more refreshing. Some even claim it's bubblier. The popularity of Mexican Coke in the U.S. has exploded. What started as a niche product in border towns and Mexican restaurants is now sold in Costco. People are literally paying double the price for a glass bottle of Mexican Coke when they could buy American Coke for half the cost. At some specialty shops in San Francisco, a bottle of Mexican Coke goes for $3.50. But wait, here's where it gets weird. Remember how I said Mexican Coke uses cane sugar? Well, that might not be entirely true anymore. A 2010 study tested Mexican Coke and found zero sucrose, that's cane sugar, in it. Instead, they found glucose and fructose, the same stuff in corn syrup. After Mexico introduced a soda tax in 2013, many Mexican bottlers started using corn syrup to cut costs. So the Mexican Coke you're buying might not be what you think it is. The crazy part? The actual Mexican Coke exported to the U.S. might still use cane sugar, specifically because American consumers expect it. So we're basically buying into a myth that we've created ourselves. Now, Trump's announcement didn't come out of nowhere. His health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been waging war on corn syrup as part of their Make America Healthy Again campaign. Kennedy's been pretty vocal about corn syrup being, and I quote, just a formula for making you obese and diabetic. But switching back to cane sugar isn't as simple as flipping a switch. Industry experts are skeptical. Dwayne Stanford from Beverage Digest called a complete switch complex and unlikely. He thinks Coca-Cola might introduce a new cane sugar product, like Pepsi did with Pepsi Real Sugar, rather than changing the entire formula. The corn industry isn't happy about this either. The Corn Refiners Association came out swinging, saying this switch would cost thousands of American food manufacturing jobs and depress farm income. They're not wrong. Corn production is huge in the Midwest, and those farmers have serious political influence. Here's something interesting. Nutritionally speaking, there's not much difference between cane sugar and corn syrup. They're both made of glucose and fructose. Your body processes them pretty much the same way. The real difference might be in the taste, and even that could be psychological. Some people think Mexican Coke tastes better just because it comes in a glass bottle instead of plastic or aluminum. Glass doesn't affect the flavor like other materials can. Others say the higher sodium content in Mexican Coke, 85 milligrams versus 45 in American Coke, might be what makes it taste different. So what happens next? Well, Coca-Cola's stock didn't budge after Trump's announcement, staying at $69.27. That tells you investors aren't taking this too seriously yet. The company's vague response suggests they might be considering some kind of change, but probably not the wholesale conversion Trump described. If Coca-Cola does make the switch, it would be huge. We're talking about changing the formula of America's most iconic soft drink. The last time they tried that with New Coke in 1985, it was a disaster. Although, fun fact, New Coke wasn't about hiding the corn syrup switch. They'd already been using corn syrup for 5 years by then. Here's what I think. Coca-Cola might introduce a special cane sugar version for the American market, charge a premium for it, and keep the regular corn syrup version too. That way they can say they listened to consumers without disrupting their entire supply chain or angering the corn lobby. The irony in all this is Trump's favorite drink is Diet Coke, which doesn't use sugar at all. It's sweetened with aspartame. He even has that famous Diet Coke button in the Oval Office. So he's fighting for a change to a drink he doesn't even consume. Whether this actually happens or not, one thing is clear. People care deeply about what's in their Coke. The fact that consumers are willing to pay double for what they believe is a better product shows just how much these little differences matter to us. Maybe it's the sugar, maybe it's the bottle, maybe it's just the idea that something foreign is automatically better. But whatever it is, Trump just tapped into something millions of Americans have been feeling for years. Will we see cane sugar Coke on American shelves soon? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this announcement just reignited a debate that's been bubbling under the surface for decades. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.